Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
Hello, scholars. Hello, hello. It's so very good to see you. Hello, hello. How are you today? Hello, hello. It's so very good to see you. Hello, time to sing and play.
Greetings, scholars! It is so good to be with all of you today. I'm really excited about the things that we have for today's lesson, so without any further ado or any other sort of announcements, let's get to our warm-up so we can do all of our really awesome activities. Let's get to it. Let's stretch. Pull your shoulders forward. And then back. Move your fingers and your toes. Roll your neck around nice and slow. Just feel the weight of your head gently pull it around. Go one more time all the way around in this direction. And then switch. Remember to stand up nice and tall while you're doing this, even though you're stretching your neck. Now you're going to take one of your hands. You're going to lean your neck a little bit to the right side and just use the gentle weight of your hand to just feel the stretch on this side of your neck. Don't push. We don't want to push our neck down. Push our head down. Just gently let the weight stretch that side. And then after a couple seconds, switch. So then use this hand. And like I said before, remember to stand straight, up and tall, don't collapse. Very good. Let's stretch our shoulder. Remember to breathe as well. Sometimes when I stretch, I forget to breathe in and out. And sometimes once you get a good stretch going, it's good to just breathe in. Let it out. Switch shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. One more deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. And exhale. Jump up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. And now switch between your feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sort of like you're running in place. And then one more with both feet landing at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Nice job, scholars. We are going to go right to Zumba rhythm from this today. Here we go. We're not adding any new rhythms today, but for our dotted half note, when it does show up, you can count the number of beats on your fingers with me. Here we go. Cinco, tiki tiki cinco, pa. cinnamon. Pecan, ta, Teep, teep, grasshopper, tiki, tiki, teacom. Okay. Woo, we have some interesting rhythms today. Let's keep it up. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and Tim, tiki, tiki, cinco, pa. Grasshopper, grasshopper, cinnamon. Teacom, ta, Teep, teep, grasshopper, cinnamon, yeah. Wow, that last one was rough on my part. Okay, hopefully I can get better. 1, 2, ready, and Tim, tiki, tiki, cinco, pa. Grasshopper, grasshopper, cinnamon. Teacom, ta, Teep, teep, grasshopper, tiki, tiki, teacom. There we go. That last one's like a tongue twister. I guess that's probably why I'm struggling. 1, 2, last time. Tim, tiki, tiki, cinco, pa. Grasshopper, grasshopper, cinnamon. Teacom, pa, Teep, teep, grasshopper, tiki, tiki, teacom. Woo, that was fun. I did the last one correctly. Now let's go to the vocal part of our warm-up. Yeah, bow, bow, bow. For today's vocal warm-up, we are going to be doing 2 different things. First, we are going to be doing a sung warm-up that has to do with a very specific sort of singing tongue twister. And then after that, we are going to take a little bit more time and use tongue twisters again, but just to warm up our brain and sort of our speaking voice as well. Here is how our sung vocal warm-up is going to go. This is going to be your starting note for this sung tongue twister, and the words go as follows. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah, 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 ah. Okay, why don't you say that with me? The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah, ah, ah. And here are how the notes go. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. And then we get a little bit higher every single time. So let's bring it back down to the original note. Try it with me. 1, 2, ready, and the tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. 2 more. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, and the lips. Ah. Nice job, everybody. Let's move on to our regular tongue twisters. So in just a few moments, you are going to see a bunch of tongue twisters written out for you on the screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to read them one by one. And then after that, we're going to do sort of a rapid fire lightning round where I'll tell you a random tongue twister on that page that I want you to say. We all say it together and we go through all of them as quickly as we can one by one. Here are the tongue twisters we are going to be using today. Repeat after me. Loopy lizards lying lazily aloft a little lane of logs. Clean clams crammed in clean clans. Clean clams crammed in clean cans. Lonely lowland llamas are ladylike. A slimy snake slithered down the sandy Sahara. Gale's great glass globe glows green. A noisy noise annoys an oyster. Does this shop sport Does this shop sport short socks with spots? And now for the lightning round. I will call out the number of the tongue twister that we're supposed to do, and then we'll say it all together as quickly as we possibly can. Here we go. Number 2, clean clams crammed in clean cans. Number 6, a noisy noise annoys an oyster. Number 1, loopy lizards lying lazily aloft a little lane of logs. Number 5, Gale's great glass globe glows green. Number 4, a slimy snake slithered down the sandy Sahara. Number 3, lonely lowland llamas are ladylike. Number 7, does this shop sport short socks with spots? This is so ridiculous. Great job, everybody. Well done for getting through that. With that, we are done with our vocal warm-up for today, so we can get started with our first main activity. Right now, we're going to learn a little bit of music theory. Today, we're going to focus on the C major scale. Now, the C major scale is very, very, very much related to something that we reviewed a couple of months back, the pentatonic scale. Which use these couple of notes. C, D, E, G, and A. 5 notes. Now the C major scale consists of 7 notes, technically. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And then if we really want to finish it, we go to C. So 7 notes with the repeated C at the top. In just a few moments, we are going to watch a video that talks about the C major scale in a little more detail. But first, I wanted to go over some key words that are going to be used in this video and make sure that we're familiar with their definitions before we even watch. Let's talk about the musical words major and minor. These are musical adjectives that can be used to describe a chord or a scale. A chord is simply a group of notes played at the same time, and a scale is a pattern of notes played in a specific order. Major chords and scales typically sound happy to our ears, while minor chords and scales typically sound sad or something like that. Now, since we're going to be focusing on the C major scale today, that just means that we're going to be listening for major instead of minor, and then listening to a scale instead of a chord. I also want to talk to you about ascending versus descending. In music, you can use these words to describe parts of a scale. So if you're playing a scale from the bottom going up, that is ascending. That's the ascending part of the scale. But if you start on the top note and then you go down the scale, that is the descending part. Another word that you'll hear used in this video is root, or another word that means the same thing in music is tonic. The root of a scale is simply the first or bottom note in the scale. Hence the word root, like coming out of a tree, something that grounds it. That is like the foundation. And then arguably, the most important words we have for today, listen closely, half step versus whole step. Let's focus on the word half step. A half step, or we can use the word half tone, it means the same thing. A half step is the smallest distance between 2 keys on a piano. Starting on C, here's the next half step up. If I was going to go a half step down from C, it would be from here to here. Here is a bunch of half steps played in a row. Half, 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 half. And then a whole step is simply 2 half steps put together. That distance. So a whole step from C going up is 1 half step, add another half step. That's a whole step. Here's a whole step up from this note, D. Half, half whole. There you go. It's a whole step. One more example. A whole step up from E goes half whole. Now that we've been over all of those random words and we've heard some examples of what they sound like, let's watch this video all together.
Let's listen to the sound of a C major scale. So how do you build a major scale? Well, C to D is a whole tone. D to E is a whole tone. E to F is a semitone. F to G is a whole tone. G to A is a whole tone. A to B is a whole tone. And B to C is a semitone. That's the pattern for all major scales, semitones from 3 to 4 and 7 to 8. Now let's draw the C major scale on the treble staff. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Then add a bar line. B, A, G, F, E, D, C. The starting note of this scale is called the tonic. Let's label this note with a Roman numeral 1.
All right, we are gonna pause our C major scale discussion for today right here. We're gonna practice our C major scale using some pretty cool things next lesson. But for now, let's go to our final thing for today. For our final activity today, we are going to be playing some musical instrument bingo, which I know all of you are familiar with from past years in music class. I want to review some of the knowledge that we need in order to play this game well, so let's watch this video all together.
Maybe you remember your 4th grade music class. The music teacher probably told you about the different types of instruments, such as woodwinds, brass, strings, and percussion. But do you know how we determine which instrument belongs to which group? It has nothing to do with what the instrument is made of, as some might think. While you may be tempted to call a saxophone a brass instrument because it appears to be made out of brass, doing so is incorrect. The method used to correctly classify them is by the way the instrument produces sound. Once the way an instrument produces sound is determined, it can be placed in one of the families of instruments. We'll start with the orchestra's 4 families of instruments. The strings produce sound by causing strings to vibrate using 3 methods: bowing, plucking, and strumming. Examples include the violin, viola, cello, and contrabass. The woodwinds produce sound by simply blowing air or wind into their instruments. Sometimes the air is used to vibrate a single reed, as with the clarinet, or a double reed, as with the oboe and bassoon. The air itself may even be used to vibrate and cause sound, as the flute does. The brass family produces sound by buzzing their lips into mouthpieces. That's right, they blow raspberries into tubes. Examples include the trumpet, horn, trombone, and tuba. The percussion family all produce sound by either hitting, shaking, or scraping their instruments. Examples include the snare drum, bass drum, crash cymbals, xylophone, and timpani. These 4 families of instruments make up the orchestra. Sometimes instruments that don't normally play with the orchestra belong to these families. Such an example is the guitar, which is a string instrument, but rarely plays with the orchestra. There are even families of instruments outside those found in the orchestra. These include keyboard and electronic instruments. Keyboard instruments sometimes play with orchestras and orchestral instruments, but they are really designed to be solo instruments. They produce sound different ways, but always through a keyboard played with the hands, or even sometimes with the feet. They include the organ, harpsichord, and piano. Electronic instruments have only been around since electricity has been readily available. They produce sound in an artificial way through the use of electronic amplification. Sometimes you can have hybrid instruments, such as the electric guitar, which is part string instrument, part electronic instrument. Virtually anything used to make music can be classified into these families by asking yourself how the sound is produced. Next time you're listening to music that has instruments, see if you can correctly classify them.
Alright, so now that we have all of that knowledge reviewed in our brains and at the front of our minds, here's how our game is going to work. You're going to click on the link that's in the YouTube description or the link that your teachers give you from the Google Doc. This link will take you directly to the game, and when you press play at the very top, you are going to have a choice between 3 different levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I want you all to start on the beginner level because the game is going to give you a picture of the instrument they want you to mark off, as well as the sound of that instrument. I hope you all enjoy. With that, I'm gonna leave you to play this game as many times as you can for the remainder of your music time. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, an incredible rest of your week, and I will see you all next time. Miss you all so much. Take care, everybody. Bye.